this is Thomas, and today we will be making brown sugar pecan shortbread cookies. These are pretty simple. They take a little bit of time since they need to be in the fridge for a few hours, but other than that, they're very straightforward, and I'm going to teach you how to make them right now. First, you're going to take 1.5 cups of flour, and you're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a tiny bit of ground cloves. I'm only going to use about half of this 1/4 teaspoon measure, so about 1/8 of a teaspoon, and 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Then you're just going to whisk that together and set it off to the side. Next, you're going to need about 1/2 cup of ground pecans. So you're going to take some pecan halves, and you're going to take a blender, and then you're going to add in about a little over 1/2 cup, because these aren't ground, so it'll be less once you grind them up. So I'm going to measure out about 2/3 cup. And then you're just going to turn on your blender and grind them up. And you want to get them pretty smooth, but you still want to have some chunks in it. So once you've ground up a little bit, you're going to pour it into a measure. So that 2/3 cup of non-ground pecans ended up being just over what I needed, which is good. So I can just keep this. Now you're going to take a mixer and you're going to beat 2 sticks of softened butter with 3/4 cup of light brown sugar on medium speed for about 3 minutes. Once your timer goes off, you can just scrape down the top of your mixer and beat in those little bits. And then you're going to add in your dry ingredient mixture of the flour and cornstarch. And you're going to mix this on low speed, but you don't want to overmix it because then it might get too tough and chunky when you're baking it. Once it's combined, you can just scrape down your paddle. And then you're going to add in your ground pecans that you ground up earlier. And then you're only going to mix those in a little bit again, just so that you don't overmix it. Now you're going to take a gallon-sized plastic bag and you're going to open it up. Then you're just going to scrape everything off of your paddle attachment. And then you're going to use a spatula and you're going to scoop the dough into your bowl. Now you're just going to press down on that in the middle, trying to make sure that it doesn't ooze out of the bag. Then you're going to take a rolling pin and you're just going to roll it so that it kind of gets to the size of the bag, since that's the size that you want. And you want it to be about 1/4 inch thick. And you're going to rotate the bag as you do this so that it doesn't get all creased, and you also want to lift up parts of the bag from the dough so that they don't form creases in the dough. And you're not going to get it perfect, but that's okay. You just want to go pretty quickly. Once you're done with that, you're going to just zip up the bag, and now you're going to put this in the fridge for anywhere between 2 hours and 2 days. I'm going to be back in a couple hours to bake this, so I will see you then. Oops, that just went over there. When your dough is cool, you're going to first preheat your oven to 350. Then you're going to open the bag, and it's not going to come out like that, so you're going to just have to cut your bag with either scissors or your knife. And then you're going to take it and put it on your cutting board. Now you're going to cut this into squares or rectangles that are about 1.5 inches on each side. And you can measure this if you want, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I did 6 by 5, but you could also do 5 by 5 or 5 by 6. Actually, that's the same thing. Or 6 by 6. Now you're just going to put these on your baking sheet, which you should have lined by parchment paper, by the way, if I didn't already say that. You might also need 2 trays if it doesn't all fit, but I'm gonna just do this in 2 batches. And now since this is shortbread, you have to prick all of them with a fork. So you're going to take a fork and you're just going to do about 3 to 4 pricks on each one. And you don't want to go all the way through or else it'll break. But you're just going to repeat this process for all of them. Once you're done pricking your cookies with your fork, you're going to put them in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. And it's going to be a little bit difficult to tell when they're done since they aren't going to turn brown or anything. They're just going to stay a similar color. But I'll be back after 18 to 20 minutes. When your cookies are done, you can take them out of the oven and take them off of the tray to let them cool. I'm going to bake this other batch and then I'll be back when both of them are cool to eat one. So I've actually only let one cool, one's still in the oven, but now I'm going to eat one. These have a little bit of a pecan flavor, but they're also sugary and taste like shortbread, which is why they're called brown sugar shortbread cookies, but they're also very good and easy, and you should make them too. And now I'm going to go finish this cookie, so bye-bye.